Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. So you may have seen yesterday I uploaded my vlog of my day trip up to the Edinburgh Assay Office. Now it was an absolutely awesome day. I didn't have that much time in the vlog to actually tell you guys a lot about the trip and a lot about what I saw. So I thought I'd make a little bit of a follow-up video to actually tell you a little bit more about my day. But if you haven't seen the vlog yet, please do go have a look. The links are in the description below. I'm really proud of these vlogs. I quite enjoy them. I think they're quite fun and quite fresh. So do let me know your thoughts on the vlogs in general. Now, the whole reason for going up there was to drop off these 100-gram silver forum bars. So I was travelling with 150 of these, plus some spares, plus some other articles as well. And it was actually cheaper to fly up there in person with these in my hand luggage, which, by the way, in itself was a really interesting experience, going through airport security with all of these silver bars, which you can see in the vlog, so make sure you go and check that out. But it was a really interesting experience in of itself, but it ended up being cheaper to fly up there in person than it was to actually post them. Here are the COAs for the 100-gram bars as well, so you can see they're made in the UK, hallmarked by the Edinburgh Assay Office. So if you are interested in these bars, just as a reminder, they are in pre-order. We're now outside of that first week, so you can go, we can get hold of them by just getting in touch with me. You don't have to go over to the Silver Forum, you don't have to register with the Silver Forum, but it'd be nice if you guys did. So if you're interested in any of these, please do get in touch. We've had pre-orders for about 75 of them, so we've got 75 remaining bars left. So please do get in touch if you're interested in one. Now, the rest of the articles on the table here are some of the things that I actually had hallmarked that I picked up in the vlog. You may have seen a couple of these at the end of the vlog. So I thought I'd tell you, there were more. I had, like, for example, about 10 more of these dice and a few more of these Aztec heads and things, but they've already been sold, already been shipped off to their new owners. But these are all on my website, backyardbullion.com, so you can go over and check those out. But the Assay Office was just a really, really cool experience. I mean, for those of you who don't know anything about hallmarking, let's just very quickly recap. So a hallmark is a mark that has been put on a silver item, gold item, precious metal item by an assay office, which means that they have tested it for its purity. They have made sure it is what I say it is 999 silver, so you know without a shadow of a doubt that it is pure silver when you buy it from me, if it's got those marks on it. Now, why is that important? Well, in the UK, it's actually a legal requirement to do that for certain types of silver. So for bars, it's actually, you don't have to have it, but for things, like 3D objects like this Aztec head, it would be a legal requirement to have a hallmark on it for me to sell it as a silver item. So I'm complying with legislation, but it's also adding quite a cool bit of value to the item because it really helps in the resale of an item, because if you took this bar down to a bullion dealer, they would see the hallmark, they would know it's real, pure silver, and they would be able to pay you a very good price for it compared with if it wasn't, if it was just a lump of silver. So it's a really, really cool thing to have, and it's unique, and also, you know it's genuine as well. Now, the Assay Office do their testing, and they test in a different couple of ways. Now, I got a really cool tour, as I said, and I got to see loads of the different workstations where they actually do the testing. Now, I can't tell you, in depth about every single thing because A, I'm not a scientist, and B, I'm just a layman really, so I don't really know too much about it. But you can see here that one of the pieces has got a little hole in it, and this is one of the steps. So they actually hallmark it after they've tested it as well. But this is one of the steps that they take for mainly for sort of big bullion, bullion bars like this, or hand-poured silver, or just generally big, thick pieces of silver that they can't use an XRF machine to test the purity on. So what they'll do is they'll drill a hole and they'll take out the actual silver sample, and then they'll dissolve it in nitric acid, and they'll do various chemical tests. Guys, I don't really know the full story of all the chemical tests, but anyway, they do some fancy chemical tests, and then that allows them to measure within 1/1000th of a gram, or percent, sorry, the purity of the silver. So they can actually measure 49 silver at the Assay Office, which is pretty cool. But it does mean that they destructively test a sample of my pieces each time that I send them in, and you can see here we've got these holes. Now, one of the issues about this is obviously I can't really use these pieces once they've been drilled into, because it'd be a bit silly to actually sell a bar with a hole in. So we've now got a solution in place. So next time I send stuff in for hallmarking, they're actually going to repair these holes for me. We've got some pure silver wire, the same diameter of these holes, and then we're going to do what is called a plug. So just going to put the wire in, hammer it in, and it will be a permanent fix, permanent plug fix for these pieces, which is really cool. And they're willing to sort of do that from their side, their time to actually help that and do that, because it'd be a real shame if I have to melt something like this down in the future. It's just such a really cool piece, and I'm very happy that we've come to that kind of arrangement. It's very, very generous of them to give up that extra time to help me and help repair these pieces as well. But it's a really cool process to have to understand. For the other side of things, for non-hand poured silver, they have a giant big XRF machine which they it can basically test articles which are quite thin, so things like earrings, rings, bangles, bracelets, those kind of things. You'll know very, very easily that those are going to be the real deal once you put them under the XRF machine. But obviously, thicker stuff, it needs to have a little bit of a more in-depth approach, because at the end of the day, the assay mark, they're as good as their word. If they stamp something that turns out to be not what they say it is, then their reputation is on the line, and then it puts into doubt all of the other pieces which they've ever hallmarked. So it's really important to them, and they were explaining to me, that whilst it would be, seemingly a crime to damage one of these lovely pieces, at the end of the day they can't treat me any different than they treat other people, and I completely understand that, and that's a completely fair way to do things. But it was a really, really interesting, approach to hallmarking. I've never seen anything quite like that workroom. They have machine markers, they have hand markers, and they have laser markers. Now, obviously, all my stuff is hand marked, and that's with a hammer and an actual chop, a stamp that is used to put the mark on the silver. And we, in fact, got to see this piece done live on the video as well, which is really cool. But they do have a really amazing laser engraving laboratory as well, and I got a view in there. I was had to go in there with all the eye protection and everything, which was really interesting and to watch. And I kind of thought laser engraving, it was just it made basically a mark on the silver. It didn't kind of have any depth to it. But these lasers, they really burn into the silver, into the precious metal. They actually literally vaporize some of the metal away. So to actually see that in the flesh, see that happening, see the lasers actually doing it, was pretty damn cool indeed. These, by the way, are a really fun little thing that I've started making. I made a few of these a couple of months ago, but I've just made a few more. These are kind of domes, hemispheres, and this one came out 30 grams, and I've got another one which came out nicely to 1 ounce. There we go, 1 ounce as well. But they come up so nicely with these kind of ripple patterns. Very, very nice symmetrical ripple lines, and they also spin on the table as well. Anyway, where was I? The assay office. So the testing areas, and even like the laser engraving areas, I got a tour of everything. It was really, really cool. Now, one thing also to talk about is history. The Edinburgh Assay Office has been around for 500-600 years, since the 1500s, I think, and they have so much history in that room. And the master marker, which I met, who actually, is involved with all of my hallmarking, he has this huge drawer full of all of these old tools dating back hundreds of years, and they're all for various different shapes or types of mugs or goblets or jugs or bowls or dishes and things like this that he says he's been working there 32 years, so he is a master of his trade, and in fact his job title is master marker, and he says he's never used a couple of these tools in his 32 years, but he's just waiting for the day that he gets the opportunity to use it, because somewhere there's a tool there. So that's very cool in itself. The history there is fantastic. They obviously keep records of who's been registered at the assay office over time. So it's very cool to think that my name, my details are going to be there, my mark is going to be there for the very, very long time, for long-term future. And that in itself is really very cool indeed. So it really was a truly amazing day, and if you are a amateur hobbyist or jeweller or hand-poured silverer and you're looking to get hallmarked here in the UK, then I would highly recommend the Edinburgh Assay Office. They are really very good at what they do indeed. Now guys, reminder, if you would like anything you've seen on the table, then go over to backyardbullion.com. They're all on there, apart from the damaged pieces and also the mirror hexagon. I haven't finished that one yet. Otherwise, if you like this video, please put a thumbs up on it. Please share it around on your social media. That would be very helpful indeed. Otherwise, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for watching, and please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.